Welcome back, everybody. Saturdays with Chickenduck, episode 128. 128. Special guest joining us this week, as you can see, Bill Sebald.
Yep.
Owner and managing partner of Green Lane. I didn't read the rest of that. That's as far as I went. I'm sorry.
So I can make the rest up.
Owner of from the Rooftops Photography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've known you forever, man, and
yeah, I did recognize you, and you had that Duck Dynasty beard.
It was a different time for a long time. You were a much hairier and
things have changed.
Corduroy patchier kind of guy for a long time.
I usually don't wear T-shirts like this either. Like I reserve my T-shirts for Sundays because I have to dress a little nicer now for work. So
no work clothes here.
Huh?
No work.
No work
here.
clothes here. Yeah. No tire changing clothes. Here. we had a big discussion one time because they were all busting my ass because I called to have my tire changed. I called AAA to have my tire changed
because he didn't want to change. He was in his work clothes. To me, your work clothes would be tire changing appropriate, regardless of where you work. Really, I mean, unless you're on like Wall Street, but you probably wouldn't be driving, and you're not on Wall Street.
No, I'm not.
So you wear jeans to work. Jeans are tire changing appropriate attire.
They weren't tire changing jeans though.
That's bullshit. Jeans by definition are tire changing appropriate. So sorry, we're gonna I just gotta hop into something because it popped into my head just now, and it goes back to a way earlier episode. Sorry, bro. A couple episodes, way long ago, we discussed how if I go to the diner, I've got, as you can tell, a very distinct body profile, right? And it does not work well with certain seating arrangements, i.e. booths. So I am a habitual table sitter. I sit at a table. My wife we always sit at a table because I like to be comfortable when I eat typically breakfast. So I was walking through a job the other day, like with seriously a professional group of people. And then we met this gentleman at one of the job sites, and he walked us through to look at the product. And he was a dude, he was built like me. Really cool guy, and we're just we're walking through his room, and then we get to like I don't even know how it came up, but he looked at the table, looked at me, and looked back at the table and said, "I'm a habitual table sitter, so that's where I go." And I said, "Shut up, man!" I said, "Dude, it stopped me in my tracks. Like I forgot about it until just right now."
Point him to our
it was
episode
not.
78.
It was just like, oh my God, what? I think he might already know.
I think that's actually might be the title of the episode.
I think
Table
he might have
sitter.
been that was his way to tip me off that he's a listener, that he knows. But anyway,
Maybe.
we lost that job, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, Bill, sorry for that complete aside there on my behalf. So tell us, you said that he was in the herd also, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys go pretty far back.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
when was the herd?
10 years?
300 years ago.
Yeah.
It was probably about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I met you, right?
I think so.
But I really never knew much about you, and I know you.
You never asked.
I know. Well,
Never took the time, Casey.
That's
what we're doing here. That's right. I graduated a couple years behind Mike Santarelli at Central, so I knew Mike, but I didn't. I wasn't,
never came out to support the herb.
Not a big live music kind of guy. I don't like people or hot areas with people.
Well, we could have set up a table if we knew that.
It would have been. I would have been able to see too many people. I get nervous. Crowds don't do well with me.
That was a good time. Music scene was a lot different back then.
I can actually. I should have, but Casey always likes to bust my ass about never going anywhere, doing any music related anything. Sorry, bud.
It's all right. I don't like people either. That's why I just
which is so baffling
to myself.
Me. Yeah, but like now you do. Like at some point you made the transition from being just some bum wandering around, stoned in the crowd to like a guy with a backstage pass hanging out with people on a bus that serves like CBD coffee, like from Willie.
Yep.
That's you've reached the I think the upper echelon of. I don't want to say you're a, what's the word that I don't want to say?
Coxman.
Coxman.
You are a coxman. I would not say that. I wouldn't say that. You are a what's roadie? Is that where they fall? No,
Groupie.
Groupie.
Yeah,
Groupie. But you're like the
groupies
upper.
are-
You're the upper echelon. You're like the top creme
Well,
of the
like,
top crop.
Women are groupies. Wouldn't you consider women to be
It's
groupies?
2019. Anyone could be a groupie.
Oh,
If I guess, but aren't groupies considered like? Aren't they sleeping with the bands and stuff usually?
It's 2019.
are you not? Aren't you not? We don't have to be. I mean, you're not sleeping with them.
No.
Is his mic? Oh, that's what the humming is.
You join me then?
Are you coming over, or are you gonna creep in like a weirdo?
Oh, and you let the
Make sure that's on.
Is it working?
Yeah. Well, Ryan decided to join us. Ryan, this is Bill.
Hi, Ryan. Good to meet you.
We get a handshake and everything. I shook your hand when you walked in, right?
Can't remember.
I think so.
I'll do it right now.
Do it again.
Sorry.
Yeah, we did. I remember the feel of your hand now that we did it.
Wow.
Hi, kitty.
Careful. I need you to sign something.
I saw the scratches on
Cat
your
is
not moving.
deadly, man. He's so cute. He's got like mountain lion paws.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fierce.
And he locks on.
Yeah, I remember. So I had a cat that did that once, bit into me,
Oh, yeah.
and I
Nonstop.
thought, nothing of it. I got a cat bite, you know.
Yeah.
The next day I woke up, my hand was.
Oh,
10
good,
times-
good.
yeah.
That's something to look
Jesus.
forward to.
Their saliva is awful. It's
Really?
toxic. Yeah, it's bad for people. So,
Regular cat. It was a regular cat.
just dug in with her teeth. Bacteria in her mouth.
Jesus.
Messes up your hands.
I am literally riddled with cat bites right
My aunt had a cat. It was I don't know. It got loose in the city of Reading one time. It actually made the newspaper. It was like
now. Came back high as a kite.
No, it was a
Stayed
huge.
up for 3 days.
Like she had to get all kinds of like regulations and shit signed by people to get this cat. It was huge. It had its own room, and then it got out. And
What kind of fucking cat did she have?
Tiger.
no, it was like
It was like
like
a-
the size of a dog, but it was fucking.
What size dog? You can get.
Like a.
You have a dog that weighs 7 pounds.
Right. No, this was like I would say I don't know, like a small lab, like a
You're
skinny.
trying. So let me just take a couple steps back. Rather than just tell me what size the cat was, you're trying to approximate the size of dog that the cat was.
Yeah, well, I can't give you like an exact like it was.
Dude, you can get
2
a
feet
smaller
high.
big lab. I don't even know what a smaller how many.
It was a large cat.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
About what size?
Relax. Keep it down. You're on timeout. Why can't you meet? You can't make a schedule. People, we have people waiting. We're shooting live this week.
Oh.
No,
live.
we're not shooting live. No way.
Well, no, we're heading to the beach today. So, packing and getting stuff ready.
So you are committed then. You made your stop. So everybody's in the car. You have the car turned off. It's
Yeah,
only
the AC's on.
98 degrees outside.
No, we're leaving soon. Well, I think my aunt, that car is. I was waiting to hear from them. I don't know if they left or
Uh-oh.
if they're on their. They were supposed to be leaving between 11 and 12, and they were
Oh.
supposed to contact me before they left in case they had extra room.
Is this last week?
This is
This
last
was
week
last
and a
week,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Day.
No, so 6 days ago.
Yep. Our
Okay.
timeline is fucked up because this is actually next week.
I just like
But
to throw a
when
couple curveballs in there
This-
to make sure everybody's paying
See,
attention.
this is actually next week.
It's next
But
Saturday.
when they hear that, it's last
I
week
see. All right.
and a day. Because it's Saturdays with chicken.
He gets it. I think he probably gets it. I think you like to explain it a lot more.
I hope you make it to the beach, man.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So, are you not driving? Or
I am driving.
Oh.
Yeah. And my car doesn't fit a whole lot of luggage, so I was trying to check in with my aunt to say, hey, you got any extra room? Throw some of these bags or something in there, because she got some sort of rooftopper thing. It's just like a cloth thing she got. So I
Blanket?
What's that?
Just like a blanket.
And some tie straps.
Some rope.
Couple Velcro patches.
Yeah.
They'll hold.
It's okay. It's
Costs
fabric.
$300 at Walmart. It's a
Just
blanket.
wrap
It's
the
a
whole
rope.
car in saran wrap. So, do you have anything worth talking about?
Yeah. Well, I want to learn about
I mean,
Bill.
I know. Besides Bill, I have a couple things that
Okay.
I wanted to talk about. But do you want to do that before or after? You want to talk about my stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about that after.
We very rarely have an important guest.
I
Now
know.
we've had 2 in a row, and I don't really know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with my hands. So I think, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with myself. I'll tell you. I'll be honest. Let me start why I'm so why I feel like Well, I'll tell you why. I did a bunch of espresso this morning.
You did it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's how I feel. So, Monty Laro reopened their shop. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's imported food, and he makes food, and he's got a stand at the farmers market. Family owned, been here around for like 25, 30 years. Mount Laurel Road over in Temple.
Mm-hmm.
They're open like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday now, besides the market.
Mhm.
So we go over there for breakfast or lunch on a Sunday before this, and his dad made me rocket fuel with their new, this thing had to have cost a couple $1,000s. It takes up most of a shelf, and it came from somewhere across the Atlantic. So, but I'm telling you, I think he sprinkled like meth in there or something. Because I was upstairs before you got here at like 11.
Is that why the other side of the basement's clean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I came down here and started putting shit away that I haven't touched since Carter's been a kid. So, yeah. I'm going to crash hard here in a couple of minutes just so you're all ready. So, but that's
So how many cups did you have? Just one cup?
I had a regular coffee this morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock, like I normally do here. And then I had an espresso, and it was like that much. And the cup is this big. So, of course, I snorted it. I feel great.
Straight to the brain.
I said to her this morning, I could take a walk. She said, I'll call the ambulance.
It's a little hot out there.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, it is. So.
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, that's all I really had.
What? $100, $120 shirt.
Oh, is it signed?
No.
Jesus, why is that? Yeah, he's got you fucking roped in. Oh,
Yes.
Our buddy owns a vintage shop, a vintage thrift shop, and takes advantage of our buddy Casey.
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
This is the only shirt I've ever bought from him. I haven't talked to him in a while, so.
I can honestly tell you, I couldn't say that I've paid $120 on shirts. All of my shirts that I've paid in the last
Combined.
year or two, combined. Yeah,
No, you didn't really pay $120.
these are $20
Yeah.
a pop. So
No.
Yeah, it's a vintage Army of Darkness shirt. 1993. Never been worn.
I think I have underwear from 1993. If you want to buy it, I'll give you a really good deal.
Has it ever been worn?
It's got some holes in it.
dude, you take him to one of these Comic Cons he goes to, you can charge people fucking $80 a pair. Sign them and it's
20 to
$180.
get their picture taken.
Yeah, with the underwear, holding the underwear. Oh God.
I've seen pictures of Bill at Comic Cons already at horror shows.
I love them. Oh, yeah.
With all the guys from like Friday the 13th and
Yeah.
shit, right? You had all the pictures
You're a
of.
stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all. That
He
was a long time
absolutely
ago.
is a stalker.
Yeah. I had no idea you were this big horror guy.
Yeah, man.
Didn't know.
So that's our friend Creepy Casey.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yes, sir. Jimmy, you were supposed to put this sticker on your microphone.
I don't listen well.
I know.
I'm sorry. It's straight. What was that maneuver?
That's
you know they
the-
can see everything, right?
I noticed that. I did that last week.
Poor
I did that last week.
Bill's
on
gonna
video.
think there's something really wrong.
He's trying to get more Patreon members.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of the more different podcasts I've been part of.
Yeah. So,
Oh man,
So,
I'm always nervous when people that have actually done a podcast come on our podcast because I assume that it's absolutely zero like any other podcast.
yeah. So I asked Bill about being on. Actually, you were one of the first first people that I ever asked to do a podcast. When we first started this, I had originally asked you if you wanted to start a podcast with me.
Get a couple episodes under your belt. So now here we're at 128.
No, Bill said.
Still no clue.
Bill said, well, what's it going to be about? And I said, nothing really. And you were like, I'll pass.
Yeah, it is literally about nothing. Although in a couple of weeks it's going to be about something. So we're excited for that. But
branding.
Starting a little new
right
segment.
We're gonna split the show up. We want to do like a Berks County Unsolved. We've already started the Facebook page a couple months ago.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
So, but bunch of unsolved murders and kind of disappearances and stuff local. We want to get into and kind of
stay out of my basement.
What are you haunted or you got?
What I got in there?
Oh Jesus! You heard it.
Yeah. Not all jokes land.
Well,
No,
that's
that
all
sounds
right.
really cool.
I mean, we're
I'd
in
be
my
interested in
basement.
that.
You can't smell anything, right? So
Yeah, so it was an idea I had a while ago, and we wanted to start like a whole new show, called Berks County Unsolved, but it just we don't have the time. I mean, we barely have time to do this, So it's just we're gonna start adding a segment or maybe
just shoot
every
the
other
whole
week.
damn thing and see if we can get 2 shows out. I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, we want to start doing something rather than just talking about it. So
Yeah.
that'll be about the most thought of or most planned out thing that this show's ever done in its 2.5, 3-year existence.
I think it'll work because you can hashtag it, you can keyword it up.
Yeah.
That's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like you'll actually get a wider array of audience because they're going to be able to track
Right.
interests that they have. It's hard to be like, what are you interested in? Let's search nothing in Google and see what happens.
Right.
So, no, I mean, having a themed podcast, I think, is definitely a great way to go.
So you're an SEO expert.
That's what I started doing.
Yeah.
SEO
How long have you been doing that?
since 1996.
Started doing that, like literally.
Yeah, close to the first wave.
I was gonna say you're right in there.
Yeah.
So it has changed like on a yearly or semi-annually basis for that entire time. How do you stay current for 30 years of that or 20 some years of that?
You take advantage of the head start and you make the rest of the shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Totally just lie and tell clients, yeah, this is what the secret sauce is. No, you really the trick to being good at it is just being able to stay with it, still do it, practice it, because nobody's got the answers. It's like a doctor.
Right.
It's like when a doctor's helping you out, they're like, oh, I think this is the problem. Another doctor says, I think this is the problem. Nobody fucking knows.
Right.
So you have to now go and do a lot of experimenting, a lot of tests to see what moves the needle for you.
Until Google tells you, or until Google makes the next change, and then you're back.
And then you're back down.
Square one.
Yeah, I always tell people it's like playing King of the Mountain. To be number one in Google, you got to own that mountain. Everybody else is trying to come up. You're spending full time. You're spending resources, money,
defending
your spot
until you're knocked off.
Until you're knocked off, and Google comes down, shakes the whole mountain, everybody falls.
Right.
And then clients are like, "Well, why would I invest in that? That seems stupid."
Because you have to.
Because if you don't,
You
your competitors
have
will,
to. Yeah,
and they'll be
that's-
driving hundreds of thousands of traffic
That's
that you
it.
won't even get.
You have to.
It's a fool's game, but it's part of the
game.
world
The
that's
game
out there
of
now.
business life, man. That's all it is. It's. We've gone through it now a couple times. The company that I work for I've been partially IT for the entire, certainly when I first started there, and it kind of went into, we want to revamp this and do that, make these changes. So I've kind of had a faraway view of it for the last couple of years, and I went to school for like digital media and computer design and stuff like that in early 2000s, like 2001, 2, 3. So I'm familiar with the first early on. That's when I was playing with it. When 96, 97, 98, when I was in high school, that was what we were doing.
Good old days.
Not
Easy
playing.
days.
Like obviously we weren't doing SEO because there was no such. I mean, for us there wasn't even. We weren't talking about SEO. We were just talking about getting on the web. Like I remember bulletin boards and shit like that.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was what we were primarily doing while I still had a phone, like a landline.
Yeah.
So I honestly couldn't tell you when my first 96 I would have been 13, 14.
So what is SEO? See, I have no clue what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we jumped right in.
I was
Like,
going
our
to
audience
ask that
lost.
same question.
Go for it, man.
So SEO is search engine optimization. It's the idea that if you rank better in Google, you're going to make a lot more money. So you call somebody who knows how to help you rank better. So an SEO is a person who can help you rank better. So I'll use a client that I'm allowed to use because they're not in business anymore, but like Toys R Us would say, you know, we are position 1 for toys. Help us make sure that we're always position 1 for toys, because position 1, or rather position 2, is going to lose a lot more money than position 1. Because when you're going to Google, you're always clicking 1, 2, 3, and working your way down. So today it's gotten harder because people are savvier. When they go to Google, they're seeing a lot of ads. There's a lot more ads in Google than there used to be, which is another part of what we do at Green Lane. But you know, we're savvier as users. That is, we're scrolling through the search results. You don't have to be number 1 anymore, number 2. You just have to have the best sort of appealing listing. So that's the marketing side. So in the early days, we're talking about SEO is just like, yo, how do you kind of deconstruct an algorithm and rank? But now it's how do you deconstruct an algorithm and rank, plus get people to be attracted to your ad. Not your ad, but your listing.
So you want to be up towards the top, and you want to have decent information, and you want it to be easily accessible, right?
Yeah, you got to do all that now.
Have it appealing out to the person looking at it, so that they click on your link rather than the other. Yeah.
So even if you're not position 1, you're position 3 or 4. If your link looks better because you spent more time, you know, thinking about what draws people in. So doing audience studies, understanding the demographics of the people that you know, are your customers, then you got to now craft messaging to lure them in. So it's really become a lot harder than it used to be. Now there's a whole component of if somebody goes to your website and they don't see what they want right away, they bounce out. Google's tracking all that. So now the SEO has to start thinking about usability and helping the website become a better destination, right? You want to keep those people in. It's a bad signal if they bounce out. So SEO is like huge. There's so much to do.
It's not cheap.
It's
Sounds
It-
complicated.
it's
it's gotten much more
and
expensive.
the bigger you are, obviously, it scales with the size of your company, like and the size of the revenue that you want to bring back to the company. So you know, when you have the more, I mean, for us, the problem is that if you put in a certain thing, and if you put in doors, for instance, on or garage doors on Google, our number 1 competitor is not only bought the ads but has organic, you know, right at the top, and we've put a bunch of money in, and it's expensive, but I mean, we are slowly but surely getting back up, and I mean, now depending on what you put in there, we'll pop up, but it's arduous. It's a crazy long, like, it's super difficult. I could never sit down and try to keep track of doing, like, that's what I mean. How do you stay? That's you, and you answered the question. It's just, it's something that you need to stay on top of so much, and be so aware of everything. Like, not only your issues, but like your customers' competitors and what they're doing, and all that stuff plays into it. It's just crazy.
Well, I danced on the answer because I didn't know what everybody knew about SEO. But
Oh, they probably don't
I
know
know
shit.
nothing.
Yeah, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
You just talk to me.
the problem,
That's the people listen to me anyway. I'm kidding.
the issue that I have right now is Google has always said, you know, it's an even space for everybody. You can be the smallest business, you can be the biggest business. You can come and rank just because your content is authoritative. Anybody can make authoritative content. That's the way they thought of it. But now it's gotten so hard that if you don't have a lot of money to invest to constantly be testing, to hire an SEO who doesn't, you know, cost $5 an hour, he costs $200, $300 an hour, to trust that person to be your doctor and to guide you, well, that person doesn't have all the answers. That person, if you got a good one, has more of an ability to create a planning method,
Right.
and to experiment to get you to where you want to be. So when I say to a new prospect, they say, how long is it going to take to get me number 1? I say, first, I can't ever guarantee I'm gonna.
Yeah, it could be years.
And it could be years. Do you want to sign here?
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah. This
isn't-
might not work.
It's really, yeah. You can't
uh,
forecast it. It
yeah.
might not work.
Right.
And it's kind of like, to me, it's like, you know, you pass a billboard. Well, how many sales am I going to get driving, having a billboard up? Oh, I can tell you how many cars are going to pass by, but I can't tell you how many people are
Sure.
actually going to go and call the number.
Yeah.
Right.
But people expect out of digital marketing more absolute results. They're like, if I give you $5, will you give me 20? I said, I might take your
Right.
$5 and not give you anything.
Right.
It's a hard sell. But to the point of, you know, what you said earlier, you need this. You need to work at SEO. You need to get those organic rankings.
And the killer is, and I'm sure you're well aware of this. The killer is that there's a very large group of people that are sitting there making decisions that know about as much about SEO as you two do. Like, they're sitting in a room with a gentleman like Bill or his group across the table, and he's talking and talking and talking, and all they're thinking in their head is, I'm going to give this guy a $20,000 check, and in a year we're going to be in the top of this. It's a lot to live up to. I mean, even as somebody, I know the reality, and going into some of these meetings and like what other people are saying and asking, and it's just like, they're not going to tell us. They're not going to guarantee that kind of stuff. You know, like it's like we've said, it could change tomorrow. The whole thing could, Google could change the algorithms, and everything could kind of shift, and then who knows, and who knows what your competitors are doing and all this other stuff. So it's I've just been in a couple meetings, and SEO is something that scares the shit out of me. I know that. So
it's a gamble.
Yeah. So
do you
do hands-on, like, do you do coding and design? Like, do you actually build the websites? Yeah.
No, we don't build the websites at Green Lane. Some of our competitors do. We're more of like, hire us to work with your developers,
right,
work with your your UX people. Yeah, so we're more like consultants in that way.
Nice.
But we work on all sides of it. Right.
That's
so
awesome.
we're right now, Google ranks you based on your mobile presence. Like, this is a big thing that we've been doing a lot of. A lot of businesses don't know that, but if your mobile website is shit, but your desktop version's beautiful, and they're ranking you based on the mobile. So you have to go and talk to the company and say, keep forgetting to be close to the microphone.
It's all right. I have you turned
You're
up a
gonna
little
have
bit.
to
You can stay comfortable.
All right.
Stay where you're at. No, I just took my headphones. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
I already forgot what I was saying.
Sorry.
About mobile sites.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So by saying, you'd say to a client, like, you need to go and now rehaul your entire mobile experience. Well, that could be, $500,000. Well, if you don't do it, you're going to be ranked poorly.
Right.
Like, you
So
have
this
to
whole
now
thing
do
is
this.
for nothing now. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're
Now-
paying my fee, so you might as well pay the $500,000 to have a shot in this race.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, nowadays a lot more. I would assume a lot more users are on mobile rather than
Hell yeah.
desktop
Yeah.
anyway, because it's in your hand.
Right.
Mhm.
You're on the go.
You're on the toilet.
That's why Google made the move.
Yeah.
Because more people are on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing that we're obsessed with is speed too. If people load a page, they hit the #1 result, and they don't get what they want like in 3 seconds, you're hitting that back button.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So that's the biggest thing that we do with clients right now. We're like, how fast is your site? Oh, it's about 3.5 seconds. Well, we got to make it faster, and that could cost $100,000
Yeah,
depending on the framework that these websites are
Numbers
built on.
are
Yeah.
insane, man. I'm telling you. Because, again, you're not talking about, like, I can't imagine you're talking like a 1 or 2 man operation. You're talking, like, who did you just say? Toys R Us?
Yeah, Toys R Us had a big crew, and some of these guys.
I would imagine they had a pretty big online presence at one point. That's crazy. I mean, that's huge.
So I feel bad for the small business now trying to compete.
That's
It's
what I
not
mean.
an even playing field like
Right.
Google says.
It
No.
couldn't be.
You got to invest more. And then what happens is there's other companies who are like, yeah, $500 a month, and we'll do your SEO for you. And just like you said, somebody naive will go, well, I'll put my trust in you. $500 will probably get you about, let's say the guy they hired is $100 an hour. You're going to get 5 hours of SEO a month.
Right.
5 hours. Your
Right.
competitors
An hour
are
a
doing
week.
Yeah,
Right.
way more than that. How are you going to compete?
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
it's a-
about the time it takes to warm up his coffee, turn his computer on. Yeah.
And then what happens is the client says, "Oh, this SEO thing is shit. It doesn't work."
And they
well,
give
no,
up on
you
it.
were with somebody who was kind of a shyster.
Right. No,
So-
we had to dance around and find what we. I mean, we're pretty happy with what we, and I mean now it's out of my hands anyway. So, but it doesn't matter. I wouldn't want any of it to be in my hands. Not what I'm saying. I understand that it's a difficult process.
Yeah.
To certainly from your side of things, and from people trying to understand it, because it's a mystery. The whole thing's a mystery. It's a crapshoot to me. I think it's a.
I love the detective work though.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
That's what I mean. Well, experiment.
Yeah,
You
I
got to
love it.
experiment. Well, yeah. Well, you're not paying for it.
I'll play with other people's money.
Oh, hell yeah! I'll set those experiments up all day. Yeah.
But I think it's really important to be honest and be like, here's what to expect.
Sure.
This might be a total turd.
Right.
This might not work.
Yeah.
You want to try it and then go, okay, at least you've told me what we're trying here.
I mean, people that are calling an SEO consultant obviously have a general understanding of what SEO is, or they probably wouldn't have you in there. You know
These
what I mean?
days, yeah.
Right. It's
In
not
the very
like
beginning, it was a hard sell.
there's some sticker shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want what?
Now people get it.
That's forever, right? No, that's for a year. I go, oh, okay. So,
Yeah, it can get expensive for sure.
yeah, man. Well, awesome.
You teach classes on this stuff too, right?
I have in the past. I'm not doing it right now.
No?
But yeah, they're Jefferson University. Used to be Philadelphia University. I was teaching SEO there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you're definitely well knowledged in the, you know your shit about it.
That's what's on his business card.
I know.
I know my shit. Yeah. That's his tagline for his. That's why he's so good.
Some of the things people can do today.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm not nearly as good as some of the people are now, because I started running a business, so I've kind of had to stop studying as deeply as I did. But some of the things that people can do now, just
How big's your group?
We are a team of 15 people.
Oh wow.
So we want to stay that sort of small boutique-y size.
Yeah.
We came from the big agency world, so we're avoiding that. Yeah, we call ourselves a boutique agency.
Yeah.
Don't want to get any bigger than that, any bigger than 30 or 40 maybe.
Yeah.
You know? Once we go back to that like 100 people range, then it's herding cats, and you lose that kind of feel that we have.
Sure.
So it's a good gig.
Nice. That's great. And you do photography.
Yeah, just a hobby on the side.
I was looking at some of those pictures. That'd be look like a fun hobby.
It's a fun hobby.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, are you like for hire, or is that like art for you, or is that
The photography? Yeah, I don't make any money on that.
right? So those models and stuff, you call them, you hire the models themselves and set that up.
No, I don't hire them. No money.
So explain. Okay. Explain this to me.
Yeah.
So if you're not paying for it, who's paying the model?
Nobody.
So nobody's paying you.
Nope.
You and the model just one day are like, hey,
Let's make art.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So that makes sense then.
I mean, there's.
I'm glad you don't ask me to take my shirt off before we start. But I'm.
Come on, Jim. Let's make art.
So are the people that can see this, because you would need some bleach for their eyeballs. So, but no, that's some of the stuff I was Casey just sent it the other day, so I was taking a look at it at work.
It's not safe for work.
It's okay. It's okay. It was safe. It was safe enough. It was mild, but it was really neat. It was nice. Nice. Is it typically the same model? I know. Were you going to bring a model here?
It was. He said
Yeah.
no.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I'll be honest with you. He said he's going to bring a model here, and I sent him a GIF of a guy with a mannequin and like positioning a mannequin, and then he sent me your art, and I was like, oh whoa, it's like that kind of model, dude. I didn't realize it was like when he said model, I thought like I was thinking like model. Like I was embarrassed of myself, but it was a funny GIF. So
Yes, it was.
but yeah, I wish you would have let him bring the model. Now looking back on this,
I have trouble getting you to allow me to have regular guests.
boo. Once in a while,
People that you don't know.
told you, man. I don't like crowds. No.
So, how did you get into the whole SEO thing? Like where did you grow up? For one, I don't even know where the fuck you're from.
What's is your language today? You have the T-shirt on and you're throwing the F around.
Sorry.
You want my full story,
Yes.
Casey? You want it?
I want to know all about Bill Sebald.
Let me roll back to the beginning here. So this goes back. How did I get into SEO? So I started doing music. It was like 94. I was right out of high school. Had kind of a close run-in with a record label, and I was able to meet a lot of people who knew a lot of people in the music business. So the band didn't really work out. I don't want to go into too much about that. I'll tell you over some drinks how shitty that all turned out. But, I was able to meet a lot of rock stars, and they said, there's this new thing called the internet. Maybe we can do a music magazine. RollingStone.com hadn't come out yet. None of these things were around, and there was still a lot of thought about the internet being this passing fad. Do you guys remember Napster?
Sure.
Yeah.
That was a big thing at
absolutely.
the time.
Yeah.
So everybody thought of the internet as, it's a
Way to pirate music.
wasteland. Yeah, it's shit. It's never going to stay
Wild
around.
West. Yeah.
So the music thing wasn't working. I had these connections. My buddy Paul and I, we started to put together a music magazine. We were interviewing all the rock stars and kind of like, hey, this can work. There's some audience here. But it was so early that we didn't know how to monetize it. We would run banner ads, but it was really not something most people, knew how to do, or it was hard to make money on it. So I had to make money on the side. I said, I've already learned a little bit of this Photoshop thing. Why don't I, start working, since this ain't making me any money, why don't I start working in Photoshop, start doing retouching, right? That's how I learned how to do photography and the model stuff. But at the same time, I'm still trying to get this other site off the ground. And that's where I discovered SEO. Like, there was just a forum of people that are like, yeah, here's how you hack Google.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Google wasn't around then. But here's how you do it. And I was like, this is interesting. And I was able to see my rankings.
How you
go up.
hack Yahoo.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, here's how you manipulate Excite and
Right.
Alta Vista. and-
Alta Vista. Yeah.
Get into AOL.
Dog pile. Yeah. And that's it. I was really into that. So the music thing sort of just became more amateur and just doing it for fun. But I was really into this SEO thing. And then I found there's a community, and that community would grow. And it's like nothing else because it's an industry where we live online. Really, schools don't teach it, right? So it's this whole industry that's just born online.
Teach? How would you? I mean, how do you teach it?
You can't even put a book out. By the time you put a book out, the book's out of date. Yeah.
Right.
So
that's the scary thing with any I mean, really anything, any of this technological. The advances are just remarkable, from VR to AR. All this stuff is happening at such light speed, progress that it's. I don't even know how they teach it. I honestly don't. The shit that I learned in college in the early 2000s is complete lunacy by now. I mean, Flash doesn't even exist. The CCS or CSS didn't really exist until I was just about out of school.
Yeah.
So it's like all the stuff that I learned is completely like gone. I mean, I know Photoshop and a couple other programs, but it's just remarkable how the stuff that I learned in school is just like, and I paid a fortune for school, and none of it means shit because the technology is not even there anymore. The software doesn't even exist anymore. So.
I don't think any of my employees, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they have any digital marketing classes.
Right.
Because you just don't learn it that
right.
way.
Yeah.
They show an aptitude for it. We kind of train within.
Bring them in.
And or try to just hire the people that are already
hammer it out.
Self-studiers.
Yeah.
It's like no other industry, and there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I recommend it to anybody listening who's smart. If you don't hustle in this, or you're kind of dopey, you're gonna be in some trouble.
I guess I'd be in trouble. Chickenduck rank's pretty high there, huh?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty specific request. Saturdays in Chickenduck. If anybody else is looking for anything else, I don't know. But I mean, what does Chickenduck come up with? Probably that guy down in Mexico,
Dave Alvarez.
Hey, look at that. We're the only Chickenduck. We're the top Chickenducks.
We're above Dave Alvarez.
Let me get
There's the Chickenduck show. That's I think Dave Alvarez, the guy that works for Disney. Yeah. See, his is a completely different Chickenduck, though. Ours is actually like one animal. His is like a duck that wants to be a chicken.
Somebody gave him $350, and he's looking for $14,000. Wow.
How'd you come up with Chickenduck? It's like 2/3 of a turducken.
It was back in high school. We used to drive past this one lake near a battery plant. And we used to always call these things up in the one guy's yard chicken ducks.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're chicken ducks.
Yeah, they were chicken ducks.
I still believe that they're chicken ducks. It's not like we made them up. I mean, there's a really Bernhardt's, right? Bernhardt's Dam sits right next to Exide, which is like a super fun, like a battery site with crazy high.
And they used to dump battery
So there's always been like three-eyed carp and so chicken duck's probably out of there too.
Sure,
I would imagine. Yeah. So
if you have a three-eyed carp, I'm sure you have a chicken duck.
Right. It's only reasonable to think that. So that we as kids we drove around that area and saw them and joked about it and always wanted to start we always wanted to make a cartoon, but neither one of us are creative not creative. Both of us are creative. But neither one of us are highly motivated or know how to have any kind of artistic capabilities.
Seems like you'd need that, yeah.
Right. But then we were you know what? We can just start recording ourselves.
Yeah, I said, let's start a podcast. And we both knew immediately what the name would be. Chicken Duck.
Right.
Because we wanted to do the cartoon, 20 years ago. But
right.
And we named it Saturdays with Chicken Duck just because that's just a day to drop the episode on.
Funny when I said it out loud.
Funny. So, but we obviously record a week earlier, and then. But my editing has gotten better, so they're usually done by tomorrow, and then I put them
whatever
on
day
Patreon.
Tomorrow might be.
Yeah, Monday. And then I put them on Patreon for our listeners. Our 5 Patreons we have. Thank you, Ryan, for being one of them.
Yeah.
Patreon's big in the photo world. A lot
Is
of
it?
models are on Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they go on Patreon, and then
See how
people
I called it right back to me.
Yeah. People put I like that. People put the models put their pictures on, and then people can pay them to see those pictures, and that's how they make their money then for the the modeling and all that.
But they don't pay to own the pictures; they just pay to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sweet Jesus.
So the photographer has the copyright inherently by law. So the way that I work, I give the copyright to the models. It's like we worked on this together. It's like a jam session. Really comes from my background in music. So you do whatever you want with them. Put them on Patreon, crop them, edit them, do whatever you want. Try to sell them, whatever you want. That's not how most people work.
I believe not.
Yeah. Most
So you don't
photographers are
see
trying to get
anything
paid,
back.
models are trying to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they come to me. It's called TFP. The acronym is TFP. Time for P either stands for photos or portfolio. And it's the idea of, you help me build my portfolio and I'll help you build yours. So when you say to a model, I want to do a TFP shoot, they'll either go, nope, I'm paid only, or they say, yeah, you're pretty good. Let's do something because it'll help me. So I'm lucky enough to be in that TFP area.
You actually have to pay some models to take pictures of them, or what?
Yeah, some will only take money for their time.
I mean, again, that makes sense to me. That's why you would want to be a model.
But he's the one taking the photo. He should be the one making the money.
Again, it matters
He's
what's the
paying
end, for what the end. That's why I asked earlier. What's the end goal? Like, is it for something, for an ad or for something like that, where you would be paid by somebody else? But that was my question earlier. If it's just art, then somebody would need to sell it, and if she's selling it, that's what he says. He's giving her the rights to sell it.
Right.
So he's not asking for anything back. That's very generous of you.
Yeah, make my money doing other things. So.
Do they often say, here I sold those photos, or
and here's a cut for you? No.
It's so crazy how that works, isn't it?
Somebody would say, hey,
unbelievable.
Here's $100. I sold some of these photos.
Here, I just made $5,000. Here's $100. Like, that would be no.
Surprisingly, that has not happened.
That doesn't surprise me, unfortunately.
The whole scene is really fascinating. There's a good photo scene around here, but there's a concept of I'll throw another acronym at them because they're so much fun. SEO and TFP. So GWC is guy with camera. All right, this is a photographer who will hire the women, just really not because of the art, but because they want a chance to get a naked lady in their room. And those are the sketchy ones you got to look out for.
Fucking
So
think?
the models.
So if I would have, before you even explained what a GWC was, I was already creeped out. That was it for me. So like, if you're referring to yourself as a GWC and that refers to a guy with a camera, stop doing that right now.
We could all be that.
Anybody, literally, any dude with a camera could be that guy.
Yeah. They are calling themselves that. We're calling them that.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So don't be that guy then.
Right.
Okay.
So if my friend were here, if I'd brought the model, she'd tell you some creepy stuff.
I can only I can't even imagine. I've known a couple. I was a bartender for a couple of years. I know a couple girls that modeled in college and had told us some terrible things, gross, creepy things. So I wouldn't want to be a girl standing in front of a guy with a camera.
There's a guy going. I'm assuming it's a guy. It might be several people going around saying they're me, and or saying they're my associate.
What?
Yeah, and I've seen the screenshot. So what this
That's
person
not good
does.
news.
I hope you're listening, you son of a bitch.
I don't want him to be a listener of our podcast.
I gotta go.
But
So you didn't want to be here.
He'll send messages on Instagram and he'll say, hey, if you want to work with Bill, or if he's posing as me, hey, if you want to work with me, you have to send nude photos. You have to send them by 5 o'clock. I need to see everything, and then I'll decide if I want to work with you.
What the fuck?
So what I started to get was models saying, hey, here's the screenshot of a conversation I had with somebody who's saying they're you. And I'm like, this is not me. I don't work with anybody. It's shady shit. So there's sketchy stuff all over this industry.
That's crazy.
The scene. I should call it a scene.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's great. It sucks too that you're at a point where you're at a level in your career where somebody is trying to usurp your name and reuse it in a shitty, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty certain nobody's trying to work with Jim Adam out there, you know, with a photo shoot. So it's not like people are getting random like, hey, if you want to work with Jim Adam, just send him full body nudes.
He's a GWC.
I'm a GWC over here. But I mean, at least it says something, I guess, high enough that people have people successfully sent. Has that guy? No
Sadly,
way.
no. Yeah, because I've seen the threads. I'm like, reading picture. Why would you do it? I thought it was you. I want to work with you. No, I don't work that way.
Oh my god.
Anybody who's asking like that that's not my water. Anyone who's asking like
I think
that,
it is your water. It's not open.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
So send that guy a big hairy dong the next time.
I can't catch
Unless
it.
you like that thing, I don't want to piss anybody off. I'm sorry.
The 3 people that I've heard do that, I'm assuming it's one person who's creating different accounts, and then somebody shuts it
Something
down.
like Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram. It's happening on Instagram.
Sons of bitches.
And this person always blocks me, so I can't even track them down because I'm blocked immediately. And I look at the name, and it's usually like a misspelling of my name, or
That's crazy.
yeah,
So what are they using several accounts and then just closing them
looks
down?
that way. Yeah, it looks like eventually
the fuck?
somebody shuts them down, gets them shut down with Instagram, just opens them up. And
So Bill sends you a request. Don't send him any nudes.
I will not be asking for nude pictures, which is
Jesus.
another issue.
Vu,
right?
quit sending girls pictures or quit sending requests for nudes.
So
Can't help it.
a lot of models have portfolios already, so if they do nude work, they'll have nude pictures in there. So you can
Right.
say, okay, this is the body type I want for this shot, right? The hardest thing is to say, okay, you don't have any pictures online. I don't know what you look like. And like, I want to do a nude shoot. I'm like, all right, we can do that, but I don't know what you look like. You might be not good for my ideas, or you might be good for my ideas. So I can't just say, send me a nude photo. Like, it just comes off
Yeah,
so
yeah.
creepy. But if they were, I'd be like, well, I would take this and I would start thinking about ideas and poses that work for you, because breast sizes are all different,
Right.
body sizes are all different. You want to get a pose, you want to get a concept that works right for the body. How do you do that without asking for nude photos?
Right.
So
Kind of a
I just don't.
catch-22 there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some shoots where like, all right, we're going to improvise. We're going to see what we can make up here. Yeah, it's fun. It's a challenge. It's just like music. It's like improvising solos.
I always like the look on the photographer's face when I get there and I take my robe off.
Yeah.
It always.
The
He's always.
GWC's tongue hits the
He's
unfurled.
always surprised. I've been sending him. Up until that point, I've typically been a 19-year-old blonde-haired girl. So it's always good for a laugh.
Jesus
That's not
Christ.
funny. Sex trafficking's not funny.
If we were 19.
Catfishing's kind of funny. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, if you can get catfished, I mean, if you can catfish GWC, I guess that'd be fun. If we could find out who this asshole is, and then
I'd love to know.
I'll take my robe off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprise! Get that biggest, ugliest blonde-haired wig. Speaking of haircuts,
Yes,
who cut your hair?
Joel the hair surgeon.
Did he do it?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
who I go to.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We
You're
had him.
kidding.
Joel's great.
Yeah, we had him
he
on
was,
the
he was
show
in that
last
seat
week.
last week.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was our guest. He's a good friend. He's another good friend of mine, and Casey's and Ryan.
He was actually quite disappointed that you weren't here.
Really?
Yeah.
Joel,
asked-
I'm sorry.
He asked
buddy.
me a couple times the other day when I was getting my hair cut where you were.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I
yeah,
couple
other
busy-
commitments. We understand.
busy past couple weeks.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well, Deja's mom and brothers and stuff came out, so I had to get food and stuff like that. Make sure the pool was ready, all that stuff.
Fun.
You have
Yeah.
a little
I would
picnic.
rather be recording a podcast, but that's just me.
Hey, it's nice and cool in here. I
It
was
is.
out in the heat, sweating like a madman, and of course, I was the one on the grill for 2 hours. So
Let's talk about your old age app.
my old
Your face. Your
that was
Face app.
courtesy, of
I did
Casey
that.
here. Yeah.
dude.
What?
Why does that look like my dad?
I don't know, because it. It's right.
Does it not? I mean, did you see it, right?
Yeah, I made it. Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
your
I
first
s-
response wasn't like, "That looks like Fred."
Jim, we're
Well-
half brothers. I didn't know how to tell you this, but
The Asian half.
we were separated near birth.
My dad always said my brother and we had different mothers. I never understood what he meant.
See you at next family reunion.
Oh man. So
you had asked me before the show started something about my editing.
yeah, have you used Resolve?
No.
Okay, because I wanted to put a picture up here, or maybe a video.
No.
Put some videos over here.
No.
We can't do that. Like
No.
Touch.0
Did you see last week's episode though?
No, I don't have time to watch.
For
this
some
show.
reason, the camera records the whole episode. We got a new camera now, and it records the whole episode, but it records in 12-minute and 38-second
Clips.
segments,
Yeah.
and then I have to add them all together
Mm.
with the program that I use.
Mm-hmm.
So in each one of those now, I started putting like at the bottom, I put right here, chickenduckpod.com.
Ooh.
And then I'll put like Green Lane Marketing
Right here.
So
from the Rooftops Photography.
you're gonna charge him all that, right? For all that.
What are you using to edit?
It's just like an app on my Microsoft
He's
Surface
asking what
Pro.
the name of the program is.
It's called Video Editor.
It's just an app.
Yeah, it is. It's just called Video
Microsoft's
Editor.
video editor.
Yeah.
Use Resolve, please. Try Resolve.
Or Lightworks?
I tried Lightworks. I did try that, but it was easier just to use this app because
that's
all
what
I
we're
really
after.
have to do is add the audio because we only have one camera, so all I really have to do is add the audio over to the.
But you
Video.
could do much more.
I could.
I'll just do it, dude.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. If you come over and watch Carter every afternoon this week, I'll do it.
I will be away.
Yeah. Okay.
Andy's coming up from Florida.
Did you call to wish him a happy birthday?
Yes, I did. So, Bill, you said earlier that you were in music, guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I managed you in the band The Herd. I would get you gigs, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
You signed
I booked-
something to verify that?
I booked several
Why are you
gigs
asking
for
him
The
like
Herd.
I just showed up wherever Casey told me.
Yeah.
That's right.
They said, don't get on Casey's bad side.
Pretty much exactly what I do, except for the bad side part. I don't really care. I just, for whatever reason, I do it. Yeah.
And then more recently, you were in a band with Kris Kehr, our
Yeah.
friend of ours. He was on the show before.
Oh, he was? He was
Yeah,
on this?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
well,
great.
he was on when we first started. I'm thinking about asking him back.
Did he play?
No,
Oh, I
He
gotta
was
go
on, man, that's like
it was
well
like
over a year ago.
yeah,
so.
it might have been in the first 20 episodes that he was on.
Was that still upstairs? Were we still upstairs?
No, I don't know. And I think we were
next
I think
door,
we were in
ne-
here.
Next room over.
I'm not sure. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think we were
Doesn't
ever
matter. He was here.
Matters to me. It doesn't matter.
So
yeah, he's a brilliant songwriter.
hell yeah, man. So are you still playing at all in any
Started a new project. Haven't put it out yet.
'Kay.
So yeah, written, not wrote. Wrote is bad grammar. Wrote about 10 songs. Got a band together. Yeah, we're gonna start recording them.
nice?
So
Anybody I know?
no,
No?
I don't think so. Because I don't.
All
really know.
original stuff? You don't know him?
I don't really know.
No?
Well, what is Derek? Derek played in Full Moon
Oh, sure.
Vagrants. Yeah.
Derek, not the.
Long.
Oh.
Oh no. I thought you meant Derek from The Herd.
He was in the Herd for a minute.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Were there two Dereks
Yeah,
though?
there might have been. Was there?
There
two
were two Dereks in The Herd.
see, I know second Derek. I guess
Oh yeah, second Derek.
Derek Mauld. Yeah,
Something.
I didn't know how to pronounce his name. Malden.
Man, Boyman.
Man, boy, man.
David. What? Yeah. Man, boy, man.
Well, I got knocked down a little with the music scene around here. It died.
Yeah?
I mean, it died at the end of the Herd because the Herd had that second sort of revival,
Mhm.
and it was just like, where are the bands? Where are the venues? Everything was just kind of gone.
Yeah.
So it got boring playing to 5 people in the audience and 4 of them are your family. It's
Right.
like, what happened to the music scene?
I think it's
So-
because a lot of it's because the brass closed. Don't you think? A lot of people were going into the brass to see music.
That was
They
it.
would always have music in there.
They have music. I mean, they have music at other places though.
Where
You're right. The Brass is the only place that had music.
it was.
we used to play Liberty Tap Room. We played Canal Street, Northeast Tap Room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cool places that always had a built-in
The
audience.
And they're
brass.
still open. Okay, Mike's Tavern.
All
Mike's
started at
Tavern.
the brass.
Yeah.
though.
It all started. Yep.
They still have bands at Mike's Tavern, don't they?
Yeah, and at the Tap
Very
very regularly,
At Liberty.
and at the Northeast.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 or 3 nights a week usually.
Fellas, I do have to head out now.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
thanks for
Ryan.
coming and contributing.
I just bring a couple chuckles and then I go. So
It's good to see you.
that's all I'm good for. Really.
You didn't even have time to do the hair today.
No fountain. It's just regular.
Regular old Ryan.
It's just
Yeah.
regular.
Nothing special.
All right,
Have
bro.
a good trip.
See you, man. Be
Will
safe.
do.
Drive safe.
Oh, it's nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
good to meet you.
Jim,
Goodbye, Ryan.
I'll see ya. Sorry for the interruptions.
We watch them leave.
A couple of weeks ago when he was here, he just sat here and like smiled at the camera awkwardly for at least a minute, just like that.
Bye, Ryan.
Yeah.
That was Ryan.
Yeah, it was Ryan. Yeah.
You got anything else, bud?
I want to talk about our flip-flopping mayor. Did you see the mayor?
I saw that
Wanted to get your opinion of that.
he didn't want to put the gay flag up? The gay pride parade?
I don't think we're going to call it the gay flag. I think the pride flag, the
Okay.
rainbow flag. I don't think they call it the gay flag. That's
Okay.
all. But yeah, that flag.
Yeah.
That one. And then now he's letting them put it up.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, because
somebody came and talked to him, and he was choked up.
why did he not want it put up in the first place?
Because it was political.
Okay.
But now he said he told them to keep politics out of it, and they can put it up.
All right. Because immediately, didn't West Reading say that they could just come over there and put it
Probably.
up there? Yeah.
I mean, they could come in my house and put it up
Yeah.
if they want. I don't give a shit. But there's two things. I'm not a big fan of anybody putting a flag for any reason up on a government. You know, it's a
Why?
Well,
How
because
does it affect you?
it
one
doesn't
bit?
at all. It doesn't
Well, then
at all.
what do you care?
Because now it's just going to be interesting to see all the people that are like, oh, I want to put my flag up there, and I'll give them a reason not to. That's what I'm saying. But I just think Wally's an ass.
Ryan's coming back.
What'd you forget? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Wally is an idiot.
So now,
instead
instead of just saying, yeah, put it up, or no, don't put it up, now he said no, and everybody shit on him. And now he's saying, yeah, and all the people that praised him for saying no are shitting on him for saying yeah now. So it's
maybe he'll get voted out. When's
he's
the
been
election?
he's been voted out. They've already voted another person in.
Well, then why is he still there?
Never mind. It's not even fun talking to you about anything. You don't know. It's literally nothing. What else do I have? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, Bill.
Do we edit that segment out?
No,
or,
it's going to
is that
stay
air?
in.
There's
It'll
no
stay
editing
in.
anymore.
Remember, he just drops it in and puts the audio on, and that's it. There's no editing.
See, with the video version, I don't edit anything because I don't really know how to. I can't cut like the sections of the video out. I guess I could if I use Lightworks.
Definitely could.
Or Resolve.
Or any program, really. What fucking computer? What video
editor?
Video editor doesn't like. I can do that on my phone. That's how I got that video of Carter vrooming on the Lego car.
I probably
cut
could
myself
do it,
going
but
vroom vroom. Cut it right out. Magic.
we just don't need to. I don't need to cut anything out.
But it would
This
take
is how
our level.
podcasts work.
We need a green screen for.
We don't. He's
I'm-
been asking me
I'm
for a
getting one.
green
I'm
screen
getting one
since
this week.
day fucking one.
Right.
Before we even had a camera. We only have had about 10 episodes on video.
Yeah.
But he's been asking me for a green screen since day one. Episode number 1.
Because I want to go to Hawaii. It's very simple.
You're gonna have Hawaii in the background.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
all I want. I want to be able to travel. Wherever
I'll see what
wanna
I
go.
can do. I'll download Lightworks again.
I'm
and
gonna.
Resolve.
I'll work on Resolve.
It's like Total Recall. You don't really need to be there. You just
Right.
need to feel
Think
like
I'm
you're
there,
there and have a
and
memory
then
of being there.
I'll be watching myself, being like, "Man, that was a good
That was
time.
a good trip.
It was fucking great." Do you remember that burger that I had in Hawaii? It was awesome. So anyway, I had that. I had the heat. You want to talk about the heat?
We can.
I mean, it's
What do
hot.
you- yeah, it's fucking hot. That
Just so you know, if
Whoop-de-doo.
you don't know, it's 110 degrees
last
out
week
there.
it was 100 degrees
Oh,
out.
God almighty. I have that. I was at Luigi's again today.
Yep.
It was
We talked about
delicious.
that. Was the first thing we talked about.
I didn't know if you were going to cut that out now that you're going to start cutting things
No,
apart.
I lied to you. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I still see. I put the video out unedited. I just take the audio from the box and I put it into the video. But with the podcast, the audio version of the podcast, I still cut things out. I cut long pauses out. I cut people's ums and or like bullshit out. You know.
Hmm.
And
Good to know.
put that out on. That still you can be heard on like iTunes, everything, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts.
Did I tell
The
you?
YouTube version is unedited.
Did I tell you I was at Luigi's earlier?
You did.
Fucking asshole. You asked me about the car picture. We went to.
Yeah.
I took him over to the dinosaur museum over where Danny works.
Yes, at the Reading
Public Museum. I have my son's just about 2. I don't know how many, 20 months. So that's what, 80 weeks. He's 80 weeks old. I like one of those. I want to be one of those people that, you know.
John's one of those people.
That's what I mean. He's
our friend John.
He's 800.
He's 47. He's 47 months old. But yeah, so he's running around and very vocal, likes to just babble, you know, and isn't really afraid of anything. And he's built like me, so he's a little fire plug running around just causing mayhem. So we took him over to the Reading Public Museum yesterday, and they have like a Lego room, which is neat. So he sat in the car, and then they have like a ramp that has little Lego trucks that you can send down there. So we did that for about a half hour, just building stuff and destroying stuff. And then we went and saw the dinosaurs, which are like animatronic, you know, I don't know, life-sized, I guess. Probably not life-sized.
Where are they?
I don't know that they were life-sized. They weren't life-sized. But they were big enough that they didn't scare the shit out of my son, which was great. You know, they moved around, and he was blown away. So, like, I have a picture of him, like, with his hand on his head. And, like, he did that, like, 2 or 3 times.
Ooh.
He was looking at one, going, oh, and then he turned, and there was another one over there, and he'd just run at it, and he'd be like, oh. So that went on for a good half an hour. So we came home. He slept for 12 hours last night. It was fantastic.
I like when he puts his head down or is running, but he puts his head down and turns it to the side.
Dude, he gives you a side eye. Yeah. He's too much. He's too funny. I think we're going to the beach next week, and then when we come back, we're going to do some like the hands-on house in
the
Lancaster.
Please touch.
Please touch her. There's a hands-on house too. So
in
please,
Lancaster.
Yeah.
So you're lucky. Your kid's still like, you know, he's still interested in the world.
Yeah.
My son's 15. I remember doing the herd stuff. Like maybe you got the herd on the radio, and I'm like, listen, we're on the radio.
Yeah.
Right. I came home. I had
an Allentown station, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I had a Superman comic book that I knew one of the artists for Superman, and he drew me and my son, and I'm like, look, you're in the comic book. But then I had something on YouTube. He's like, Dad, you're on YouTube. I'm like, that's what you care about. I could not please him.
Well, we're ahead of the game there.
Yeah, you're winning.
Yeah.
So
Daddy's
far.
been on YouTube
Wait.
since you were 1.
Daddy's got 10 episodes on YouTube.
Yeah. Fortunately, he watches a lot of YouTube, but it's mostly counting and color videos. So, and Larva Island, which is just amazing. Amazing. Not a single word of English in the entire show. My son loves it.
He'll start talking. What language is it? Spanish?
No, they don't even talk. They they're larva. Dude, it's fantastic. I'll show you before we leave. So.
Oh my God.
This is probably 8 years ago. I mean, YouTube's been around for a while. I heard that the guy that started YouTube is from Birdsboro.
I heard that too.
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. Anyway, so my kid
He
was
went
really
to
into
Twin Valley, right?
I
Is
don't
that the school down there in Birdsboro? Sorry.
Well, you didn't stay there, I bet.
No. No.
Christ. He could buy Birdsboro.
He bought an island and named it Birdsboro. But yeah, my son would be watching SpongeBob, and then I was like, okay, this YouTube thing is kind of cool. Just let him watch SpongeBob. So I walk into the room. He's a little kid. He's 5, maybe. He's watching SpongeBob. But somebody's decided to take the voice track out of SpongeBob and replace it with all cursing.
That's great.
Fuck you. Fuck. I'm like, oh, no, this isn't safe anymore. So I had to take YouTube away from him.
Beautiful.
That's funny.
I'm sorry. I was just looking. Well, he's German.
Co-founder, so. Chad Hurley. Why would you click on his name? You know that he's not going to be the one from Birdsboro.
You never know, man.
You know, I worked for eBay for a while.
Oh, yeah? What did you do for
Whole,
them?
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I said, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Was it bad?
There it is, Reading, PA.
Wasn't for me.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you guys
I didn't
about.
know that.
What do you think about, did you see all the shit about boycotting Prime Day? Because of the Amazon Prime, you know?
I mean, I didn't boycott it. There was nothing worth me getting that I don't already have. They're already listening to me.
Correct, but I'm saying,
And watching
did
me
you
now.
see all of the things about the boycott Prime Day because of the the work conditions at the Amazon factories and all
I
that
saw
shit?
that like 5 people were on strike at Amazon. I did see that.
Is that what it was?
And then they came on and they were like, yeah, there's 5 people on strike. Who fucking
There
cares?
was
You know how many
just-
people work for Amazon?
It was trending.
7, and the rest of them are drones. So
It was trending on Twitter the one day during Prime Day that they wanted people to boycott Prime because of the the work conditions in the factories aren't good. It's like, if you don't fucking like it, just quit. Go work somewhere
it's
else.
not good enough, Casey. We live in America where people are entitled to get a paycheck for doing next to nothing. So until they're replaced by robots, they will not learn. But Amazon, unfortunately, will be the first person to replace
Yeah, exactly.
people with robots. So
They're like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna have robots in
telling
with
you.
your job soon anyway.
I've been in a couple places that are automating completely, like they're literally robots picking shelves and putting them in other shelves, and robots are taking them somewhere else. So
Yeah, I never know what to think about protests. Like I kind of want people to protest for the right cause, but it seems like everybody's going to bitch about everything.
Mm-hmm.
everything.
And there was a comedian I saw once, and he was right on. I mean, sometimes these comedians are like philosophers. Like sometimes these guys are really, really fucking smart. And he's like, when did it become everyone's opinion was something you had to give others, right? Your outrage you had to give others. If I'm offended, it's like I have a headache. I don't give you a headache.
Right.
Now, you can't have my headache. But now it's like we can make everyone just as
You have to be
we're
fucking
trying to make
miserable
everyone
as
just
well.
as offended
Yeah.
as you are.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a product of social media and internet. It never
Absolutely.
used to be like that. It's
It's
like,
a-
okay, you have an opinion, I have one, we keep it to ourselves.
It's a hive mind mentality where one thing gets started one way and you can't reverse, because look at this idiot with Area 51. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
They're going to storm Area 51.
Yeah.
The guy
Did one guy start that?
one guy started that.
Okay.
And now he's like losing his mind because he's like, I'm pretty sure the FBI is going to throw me in jail. He was on the radio last week. I'm sure he's made a couple. I don't know if he's shut his Twitter and Instagram account down, but yeah, he's like afraid because now there's millions of people that are all on the same viral bullshit that they're going to storm. Although I'd be pretty amazed to see it happen.
I watched a video the other day of 2 guys that were in the middle of the desert, like near Area 51, and there was just 2 posts there, like going down this trail that said Area 51, do not enter, and they pulled up on their motorcycles, and the one guy was like so close to crossing that line, and these fucking guys came out of a truck out of nowhere with guns, and they're like, getting pretty fucking close there, buddy. Like, they wanted their IDs, all that shit. They're like, just get the fuck out of here.
I'll be honest with you. I go to a regular, like, fully active Army base. It's not hidden, and it's not in the middle of the fucking desert, and my butthole still puckers up when I pull, like, anywhere fucking close to it. And, like, they don't fuck around. They see you driving on your phone, they'll pull you over and tell you, get the fuck off your phone, or we're going to arrest you. And that's at a fucking place that everybody's allowed to be at. I couldn't imagine going out to the middle of a desert with a bunch of other idiots. It'd be like watching it like Independence Day, where the fucking alien shot like that beam down and blew everybody up. Like, it's just gonna be some massive like fucking. They're gonna open up like a, I don't know, a big like satellite dish and fry like 500,000 people. It'd be awesome.
But then now we'll know they have a satellite dish that can fry.
Hey, man, that's what it takes. Thanks for the fucking sacrifice, idiots. Oh, you're all heroes. All 500 fucking thousand of them. At least the ones that were shielded from the blast by the bodies on top of them will be able to survive and tell us of the events that unfold. I think that's where Ryan was going.
Ryan.
Ooh, that's where he's getting a head start. Yeah. So, I don't know that I have a whole lot else, man. We talked about the museum and Luigi's. Did I mention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're going to start BCU when we return from the beach.
Yeah, we're taking next week off, right?
Yep. And yeah.
Got anything for us, Bill?
No, I tried to make myself as interesting as I possibly could.
Oh, you were very interesting, man. Thank you very
sure.
much for coming. Seriously.
Want to plug anything?
Nah, I don't
No?
need. Yeah, I need you to do that trick where you put the screen. Yep. I'll give you all my URLs.
Right here.
No, it's actually down here.
Yeah.
That's all the. Plug
This is
I
where
need.
you can send your nudes.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I can't
Yeah,
wait
that's
to-
fucked up. We got to get to the bottom of that. So that was pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Somebody has stolen your identity for the purpose of nudes, and people are playing into it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Again, it's a you're the problem, because this doesn't happen at Jim. Nobody's
I know.
oh shit, Jim. Oh yeah, I'll work with Jim. Doesn't happen. I've tried. Yeah, even since the podcast, that doesn't matter. So, not what you'd want to see anyway. But hey, we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, it
You're
was fun.
more than
Thanks,
welcome to come back whenever.
As long as I bring a model.
Yeah, bring a model next time.
Next time we
Don't
can
listen to
bring a
this
model.
idiot. I'll just make sure. Never mind. I'm not going to complete my sentence. It'll get me in trouble. My wife doesn't watch this show. So you got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, see you in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. August 2nd, we'll be back.
Oh, they don't know
Well,
that.
no.
Oh, you fucked the whole thing up now.
Start over.
Yeah.
You just making more editing work
It
for
wasn't
yourself.
This was just a test run. Man meat. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Case. See you next week. It's been emotional.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.